Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to resize images to make them square, or to resize them any size you need actually, and then put them all into one large document to create one large JPEG with all of your images on the one page. So what I'll do is I'll just select a few of these. Whoops, not a ridiculous amount. Okay, and first I'm going to show you how to resize them. Whoops, here they go. So I've opened up quite a few there. Alright, start with that one. So to resize them and crop into them, because as you can see there's a bit of an edge going on there, if I go into the crop tool, and I'm going to look at the up there, so let's go back to the square one, there we are. So that's given me a square. I've gone on the 1:1 ratio, and I can just crop it like that if I want it to be square, and then pull it down so that I don't get any of the edges there, and I can rearrange it to where I want it. Okay, but you might want to have a look at the original size of your picture, and it will tell you the exact ratio. So if I go back to millimeters there, okay, it gives me the exact size. So what I could do is I could look at the smallest millimeter size there, which is 165.1. If I copy that there, I could then go into crop area. Instead of square, I could do the width and height and resolution. So if I put in the smallest amount there, and there again, and put in 300 pixels per inch, you can just use the 1:1 ratio to get the square crop as well. And again, cropping in. This way I know that the image resolution is big enough for what I want. Okay, and as I said, you can rearrange it to where you want it. So now I've got a nice square crop. It's a bit massive. Let's come down, and there it is, square cropped. Now if you want a border around your image to go into your document, you can add it afterwards, or you can do it at this stage. You'll need to unlock the image to do that. There's a stroke I remembered, look at that, the stroke. Set the colour, I go for a black edge. And how many pixels? If I go something like 8 pixels. And then what that image will have is a stroke of 8 pixels around the edge of the picture. Okay, if I zoom in you should be able to see that. Maybe. You will once it's actually on the page, very thin black line. You may or may not want that, it's up to you. Okay, so I might have done a screen grab, and a nice what I wanted is 841 by 594 millimeters. That's an A1 size document, if an A1 print. So in Photoshop I'm going to create that, create a new, I might have saved it in the past as a preset, probably, but I'll actually make one up. I'm going to call it A1 and put in those measurements. I'm keeping it as millimeters, so it's 841 by 594, 841, oh, it's annoying, 594. Alright, at 300 pixels per inch and a white background. Now I've got here now on screen, let's get rid of that crop. I've got my image, well my page, but to start to put my images on. You can decide whether you want it portrait or landscape depending on how you're working. If you did want to flip it around, you could just rotate it. Okay, I'm going to leave it as it is. So what I need to do now is open up the images I want to put onto here. So I'll just do that. I'll just open up a few. Actually, I'll do it from Bridge because I've already got Bridge open. So say if I select 3 of them, 4 of them, make it nice and even. Okay, so all I need to do is to drag my edited pictures onto the document. Just drag them across, holding the mouse down and moving them in. And then only leave go once that is open. And you can see they're all separate layers. You can just rearrange them and make them fit. If you've made all the images the same size, they'll fit nicely. You get guides to help you as well. If you want to make them smaller, obviously you can make them smaller, like so. And make that smaller again. So I'll just add one more onto the document. Whoops. Let's try that again. Okay. So as you can see, I'm adding and adding and adding as I'm going along, and you can arrange them wherever you think you need them to go. So imagine I've arranged all my pictures and I'm really happy with where they are. They're all the right size. They're all fitting nicely. Now what you can do, you can auto-select the layer. You obviously need to show the transform tools, but you can auto-select each one. That sometimes helps with moving them around. Okay. Now imagine I've filled up the whole page. So what I can do for that is if I just copy all those layers again, and just imagine I've added new ones just to speed things up. You can see that I'm filling my whole A1 document with all of the images. So once you're happy with the layout and how they're all fitting and where they all are as separate layers, you might have a bit of edge that you don't want, so you can actually stop that. Okay. Oh dear. Ratio, that's what we want. So you can actually crop into the image then where you want it to be when you've finished. If you don't want borders or you want just a little bit. You get the idea. Okay, just say I'm happy with that. So there's your crop. So there's all your images on one big piece of paper, so to speak, one layer. Now it's all laid out in Photoshop. Once you're happy with it, and once you think, yeah, I'm happy with that, save it as a JPEG. It's quite a big file. I'm going to still call it A1. Instead of a Photoshop file, I'm going to save it as a JPEG file. And save that. It's going to be a massive file. If you're using it for the internet, it doesn't have to be that big. I mean, 72 dpi is big enough for the internet, but saying that, if you do have it quite a high resolution, it still should be plenty big enough. Because it's a really big file. And it should be done. So if I minimise this now, on my screen I've got the A1 JPEG, and there's my image all together. Alright, so that's how to put all the images together onto one page and then save them. Okay, thank you. Hope that was informative.